What's up, everybody? It's Minnie here today with another one of my great games. Before we get into it, though, I want to do a quick reminder. Don't forget, if you like the video, make sure to hit the like button, comment below, and of course, as always, hit that subscribe button as we continue to try to grow the channel. So today, I've got a real nice one for you. This is in the Tier 8 British Tech Tree CV, which is the Implacable. Now, before we get into this, a little bit of comments about the Implacable. A lot of people, myself included, don't really like the British Tech Tree CVs. They are considered by far to be the worst in the game. And we're not trying to be mean when we say that. We're just, like, they're significantly weaker to use than the others. But over the past month, for some reason, the Implacables really started clicking and I've really come to love it. But anyway, let's get into the replay. So in this game, I am divved with Inflame and Kaiser from PN, and I have got a little bit of luck in being top tier with a phenomenal amount of ships. But we're gonna play it and we'll talk about how this game goes. So as always, first thing we do is you're going to take out rocket planes. We're hunting, we're looking for any of the DDs to show up, the Benson, Fantas, Kagero, or Akatsuki, to start getting damage down on them. Because rocket planes, even with the 3 odd second firing time for these, it's still worth it. So we're going to look. First thing we do here is whenever we see that, because I know I've got the advantage of the bigger fighter, I'm going to proc my fighter to get his out of the way because I'm running a fighter build on my UK CVs. I believe it's up on YouTube. I might be updating it because of the 10.7 commander skills change, but depending on when you watch this, it'll have been up for a while. So we're going to immediately knock out his fighters, take advantage because I know I've got them. Now we're hunting for the DD, and there's the Kagero coming in. So we deliberately, because this is a tier 6 game, I deliberately did not pre-drop. Usually I will pre-drop, but when I'm hunting DDs, none of these DDs have fantastic AA. It's not a kid or a tier 8 Swedish DD. I can't remember the name of it the second. None of them have phenomenal AA, so we're willing to take out all 6. And you can see my AA is barely getting ticked. So we're going to turn, we're going to get the run started, and we're going to go right in because we got a Kagero here. And this is honestly, he's just sitting there taking it. So we go back, we watch, and 9 hits for 7,000 feels like pre-rocket change numbers because he just sits there. So look, we still haven't lost a plane yet. Even if we lose one, we can get a full run. So we're going to cut back in, try to go for a second run, because any damage on a Kagero is damage that is problematic for him to deal with because it's already put him down. Look at him, he's down to 6,400. So we go in for another run. Not as good an angle, but we still get 1,500. At this point, we're going to actually drop the fighter to try to keep him spotted. We're going to go in for a third run. Now, normally I'll never go in for a third run, but with the fact that he's barely done damage to mine, it's worth trying to sneak in and snag a little bit damage. So we line up where he was. I was actually a little bit further than I should have when I dropped that, but we still get 4 hits. And so, okay, we've done 10,400 damage to the Kagero. He's basically been neutralized, and it's 2 minutes into the game, which is nice. I'm choosing to bring out the bombs here because the bombs on the Implacable are very strong against battleships, and frankly, with the fact that it's a carpet bomb, you can get some really good drops if you get a little bit of RNG or a little bit of the DG messing up to get major chunks of health off. So we're going to go back and we're going to try to spot. Now, Akatsuki has, of course, smoke, so what we're going to do is we're going to drop a fighter over top of him because he doesn't have good AA to kill the fighter off quickly, and we're going to have that there to keep an eye for him trying to come out of his smoke, because that way it helps Kaiser out down here if he comes out of the smoke, and the Akatsuki has a chance to turn back around and go for him if he does. As he's not, we're going to go look at the Nelson. Nelson tier 7, of course, prime target to burn. Unfortunately here for me, what you see I'm trying to do is I'm trying to angle so I can get a bow to stern or stern to bow run, because I'll get significantly more damage with the reticle that way. Unfortunately, with the way he's turning, it's going to be significantly hard. We're going to speed boost to try to get a better angle, but I'm taking way more damage than I should have here. I honestly should have changed targets or pre-dropped a set, because I've lost a lot of planes I didn't need to. And we get the drop off, but you can see that's not a great looking drop. And we turn around, and yeah, we got 1 pen for 500 damage, and we've already lost 2 planes, and we look to go back in for the second run. So, once again, we're going to get the second run off just barely. And that second run is significantly better with about 10,000 damage. However, even though that was a good run, it's not worth it in my opinion because of the amount of planes I lost. I should have just recalled. Now, we got the torpedo bombers out because we're constantly cycling. If we hit alt, we can see how many I've got. I've got full rockets down here, but I'm hurting on torpedo planes and I haven't used the bombers yet. So I'm hurting on bombers and I haven't used the torpedo planes yet, so we're going to use them. Glizionari's in a prime spot here to line up for it, because if he keeps going straight, I lock him on a line here. And the reason is perfect. If I go straight, I lock him on a line for Kaiser, I lock him on a line for the Colorado, the Akazuki, and the Trento. If he turns, I have a chance to hit torps on him. And he is turning, so we're going to drop earlier than normal. Normally, I would have waited, but with how he was going, I had to drop earlier than normal. And it does pay off with the one hit. I would have liked more, but that's okay. Kagero, now we're watching, he's gone, and there goes the Glizionary, so we've done our job. So where do we go? We go for the Nelson. Now, I can already tell you before I do anything else, we're going to do a heal here, because we're going to proc the heal, try to get 2 runs on the Nelson, because he's far enough away, and there's the heal proc, that we can turn around and get a second torpedo run. So we drop the first set of torpedoes there, trying to proc out a flood. Now, we're going to do a quick drop on the second set to try to save. We get an in cap on his engine, which is nice, but we know it's going to be DCP'd at some point, especially if I get a flood. So it's not going to be phenomenal damage beyond the 10k straight up shot. Drop the second set a little further back to get, and then we're going to pull out the bombs. The bombs are in a good spot again. If we pre-drop, we're good. And right now, what I'm looking at as I look at this is we've got 2 issues here we got to watch. I'm not worried about the Fant sitting out there that wasn't spotted. We got an Akatsuki, apparently is what I've been told. Is the proper pronunciation. Plus, we've got the kid out there to watch for it. This Bismarck pushing on the DDs is a bit of a threat, and then we got to watch for the Akatsuki up here, even though there's an Akatsuki to fight him. So we're going to head this way. We're going to hold off on the pre-drop for the moment until we see where they are, because we might be able to, and we know that the Akatsukis come in close. So we're going to look for the Bismarck here. So, I'm going deliberately wide, and then I'm going to speed boost and drop the fighter. Drop the fighter to cover the DDs, then go wide to try to line up, because German battleships go up like kindling if you hit them with bombs most of the time. It's not always a guarantee, especially because he's already got one, but a lot of the time you can get him to go up like kindling. We're going to line it up, speed forward, drop so that he's in most of it. It's not going to be as superb as it could be. 4 pens, 3 non-pens, we're up to 42,000 damage 6 minutes into the game. This is a bit of a mistake here. I honestly shouldn't have been sitting here getting another run. I'm losing planes I don't need to, and I'm going to recall anyway. So I lost a plane there that I might not have lost if I didn't. Back to the torpedoes. You might be saying, Minnie, why haven't you used the rockets? Well, if we look at the rockets, I've got full rockets, yes, but mostly I end up using those on DDs, and I'm not in a concerned position with DDs. The Lafant's out there. And their other one, the Akatsuki, the Akazuki's hunting, and the Akazuki will win that fight unless he gets torped. So my focus is on the damage totals on the battleships and the cruisers right now. We're going to try to spot the Akatsuki for the Akazuki, and we're going to torp the smoke just because there's always a chance he sits there and takes one, especially because he's backing up. So we line up the torp run, and because he starts going forward, he just barely misses mine, and we're going to cut back in, and this is only to make sure that if the Akazuki messes up, we're clean. But as you see, the Colorado cleans them out, so we're like, yeah, we don't need to do that. So we're starting to spin, and we're taking advantage of having the full 15 seconds to try to drop on that Bismarck. So we're speed boosting to see if I can get any way, shape, or form close enough to that Bismarck. Bismarck goes down. I check the map, and what I'm doing there when I check the map is I'm starting to move myself, because at this point, if we look, Fant's down here, still 2 DDs to protect him. Akazuki has free reign. There's nothing further across than the 3 right now, as far as we can tell. So I'm going to move myself up to this island right here, because there's no reason not to. Gets me into the center of the map where I can control better, and allows me to challenge their ships better. Didn't use any of the planes, and now we're going to look for for the battleship. New Orleans is a tempting target, but he's a little farther forward and more maneuverable, so we're going to go for the Gneisenau out here, who has less maneuverability. Because you look at the angle New Orleans is on, hard to hit. Gneisenau begging to take torps. So we drop the torps, insta recall to get them, and then we're going to take out our bombers, because once again, bombers do tons of work. at this point in the game, it is important to talk about the fact that this is by no means a win. They're still holding on to significantly similar health to us, if not a hair more, because that may be inaccurate. But they're only down one ship, and we are spread out. Because you look at our positions here. Colorado and Kaiser and the Roma are coming in. Inflamed is the furthest forward, fighting the Lafant. The Bayern's on the run. The Akazuki's not in action yet. Neither is the Kagera or the Trento. So they can start mopping us up as we push across, because this is a standard battle and we need to get to their cap, most likely, to win. So with 12 minutes left, we continue to head forward. We still got plenty of fighters left. So we're going to go in here and we're going to watch, and we're just going to angle, and we're going to try to find that Nelson. We're also making sure to drop coverage for Inflamed for two reasons. One, in case the CV goes after him, because a Kaga going after him can be significantly detrimental. And two, because if he smokes up, gives him a little bit of spotting in case anything comes close. So I should have pre-dropped here again, because I'm not going to get off 2 runs. I know I have plenty of them left, but I really should have pre-dropped here, because I'm going to lose more planes than I'm comfortable with. We set the lineup, and we drop. And then I should be retreating there, but we get the 6 hits, which is really nice. Gets us some good damage. Fant is spotting me, but I'm not too worried about the Fant spotting me because of the fact. Now, here's one spot where I would change what I did. I would actually probably should take the rockets out here, because the closest threat to me is either the Fant or the New Orleans. And we see the Fant and we see the New Orleans, and both of them I'm gonna have a better average chance of getting good damage with the rockets than the Torps. Now, New Orleans is giving me a beautiful angle to torp him here, which I believe, if I recall correctly, will see me take advantage of, because he's not turning at all, which really pained me. But if he's a more competent player, he makes it so that that doesn't matter. Also, once again, I'm a little late on the drop, on the recall. Kaga's coming for me. We're shooting down planes now because he's going to start trying to chunk me. But thing he forgets, and why I love the Implacable for CV fights, is if they're trying to drop bombs, armored flight deck makes it nearly impossible. Now we finally think smart. We grab the rockets so that we can go finish off the New Orleans, because the New Orleans needs to die. We look towards the Nelson, because the New Orleans is gone to the Torps, which we thank the Kagero for, so we're going to line up for a run on the Nelson, while we're letting other stuff regen in terms of planes. Get the drop, aim a little forward so we get the superstructure. Time to bring the bombs back out. Nice little chunk, but it's not enough. Bugioni just got his butt handed to him, so we're quite happy about that. But once again, this game is not in a guaranteed win. We have shifted over, but this is an awkward... I do hate this positioning. The Bayern is continuing to kite back, which he should be turned around. The Colorado's angling out, which is not where he should be. Kaiser's angled backwards. Nobody's ready to push into them except for the Kikero dropping Torps and the Trento. So this is an awkward position for our team to be in. It's a very awkward position. Also, health advantage is sitting nice here at 40-50k, but it's not enough. Once again, we're going to line up to go on the Nelson. We're going to try to get it so I can get the bow to stern as he turns out. And we see that he's starting to make the turn out. So we're going to keep the angle. We're going to start to slowly angle in, and then we're going to start it when he's not quite straight on us yet, so that as he comes forward, I can set the drop up with him hitting a prime amount. Pull them back immediately. 6 pens, 3 non-pens, and 2 fires. 75,000 damage already, and that Nelson's in a real rough spot. That being said, it's a Nelson, so British heals are annoying, and there goes another one being procced. To be honest, if I recall correctly during this game, all I'm thinking is, why won't this fucking Nelson die? So, because we have to continue to drop him. I've not been able to touch anything else for a while because this Nelson has just not died. We also see where the Fant is. We're going to do the hard turn out here now. I like to talk about this for a sec. Most of the time, you would think when you're going to do this play mini, why aren't you turning to the right to hit him from the other side? 2 reasons. 1, I want to stay away from the Fuso and the Bugioni AA as much as possible. Fant AA doesn't hurt me as much. Nelson's AA isn't doing a ton. But 2, look at how he's turning. He is turning to go this way, which means that if I come out this way, I'm going to have him bow on. Whereas if I do the 270-degree turn back on him, he will be giving me a prime torping. So we'll watch as we turn it hard here. Only hit 1 torp there because of a poor drop, but you can see, boom. He starts to try to cut it back in there. You can see his rudder shift changing, but it's too late. I'm more maneuverable. I get the runoff, recall, and then we bring the rockets out because I'm still sitting on a full complement of rockets. And there we go. We get another almost 10K. We knock out a module on the Nelson, and he's in a rough spot with the engine in cap. Meanwhile, they have evened it up on ships, so we've got to push to try to win this. We've got to push to try to win this. I'm keeping an eye out for that Fant, but my target has to be the Nelson because of the fact that the Nelson needs to go down before he gets more heals off and more damage. And honestly, he is, in my opinion, the biggest threat at this point, and here's why. Because of the simple fact that he's an HE spammer that's going to burn stuff down if we're not careful. So we start hitting him. I see the fires burning, assuming that's a perma when I'm in game at this point. So we're like, okay, good. We got 3 bombs left. Let's start to look at the Fuso if the Nelson it dies. Of course, Nelson doesn't, but Kaiser does finish off the Ganais now, which helps out quite a lot. So we're looking at the Nelson, and at this point I'm going, good grief, can this man stop healing? Because I'm pretty sure I've done 70,000 to this man at this point. So we're going to cut forward. We're going to look for him again. I'm really overusing the bombs here, if I'm completely honest with you. I should have switched to something else, let my bombs regen for later. Plus, I have a terrible drop angle. And now we're watching. So we get 3 hits, yeah, but he's still not dead. At this point, with the Torps out, though, I'm just determined to finish him. And here's another mistake I would argue that I made. In this situation as a CV, what should your priority target be? Your priority target should be that Fant now that he's visible. The Fant is visible. He needs to die. He's got a Confederate. He's also coming towards you. You shouldn't be, and I shouldn't be worrying about the Fuso or the Nelson. I should be going after the Fant. But I have the Torps out. And second mistake, I probably should go for the Nelson, but I'm figuring the Nelson's dead, so I go for the Fuso. Remember, don't assume anything's dead until it's dead. Your team does not always help you. Get the good line drop off, and then we're going to do the quick turnaround because his AA is not great to get the second drop off. Because even if I get 1 Torp here, there's a chance it's a flood, forces out a DCP, there's a chance that it incaps an engine, and I actually get lucky and I get both off. So now I'm finally going after the Fant. 111,000 damage, by the way, now 14 minutes into the game. But we got to go after the Fant. The Fant's coming towards me, and if he torps me, that could really fuck our chances of winning up. Plus, I've got him spotted by the fighter, which was a good fighter drop. So we line it up here. We look, we look, we look. He's turning. I dropped that a little later than I should have, but it doesn't matter because we do get enough to kill him. And then we're going to go straight for a run-in on the Fuso, which we know has healed, considering where he was after I torped him. So we're going to get the run here, and then we're going to switch back over to one of our other things. A little late there on the drop, but we're going to pull out the torpedo bombers, and there's the fire on the Fuso. At this point, I'm also going to start to move my CV, because at this point, I'm saying, okay, Fuso's going to be dead before he can kill me. He's not going to be able to kill me. And I might as well get myself moving towards their cap, because we're going to need the caps, probably to guarantee it. Even though it's a 3-ship advantage, you never assume. Especially with the fact that Kagero's getting hunted. What I probably should have done is use my fighter here, stopped at the Kagero briefly to give him fighter cover, get that Kaga fighter off of him, and then gone after the Fuso. But Fuso's out here. We're trying to make sure he dies. So we go after him. We get a really nice line here. I mean, honestly, these ships were giving me a lot of decent lines for drops. So we get that. Quick peek back. And then we bring out the rockets because that's what I got the most of. And the important thing is we get both hits and we get the flood. And the Fuso, as we watch, is still flooding for the moment. Buccioni goes down, so we're like, okay, this game's been basically guaranteed. And the Fuso's flooding out, so we're just really waiting for him to die now. And there we go, we get the Fuso. So at this point, the game is secured, and now it's all about increasing XP as much as possible. So once again, I got my ship moving towards the cap, and now I'm hunting to damage the Kaga. I should pre-drop a set of rockets here if I'm going to hunt for the Kaga, because of the fact that I'm going to lose them anyway. I might as well pre-drop. We do a quick spin around to dodge the fighters, kill off his fighters, because we might as well get more planes. And then I talk to our Kagero and it's like, hey, you and I should cap. So we go for the cap. And so I asked politely, hey, can we not kill the CV and kill him? But we get a nice line up there. Looks a little late again, but it's not. There's the high caliber with the 18 pens there to take us to 142,000. And now we just bring out what we have to do damage. And so it is going to be 2.5 minutes of damage farming at this point because there's nothing else to do besides kill the Kaga and take the cap, which we're trying to do. I was trying to see if I could maybe get the remaining 15 planes I needed for AA Defense Expert, but wasn't expecting it because he's not going to go after me. So we line up the run on the Kaga. By the way, 13,000 off the first rocket draw. We see he's going slow, so we're going to line it up to hit him directly midship, drop it, and then go back. Bring out the bombs because I got 4 of them, and we're going into the cap, and we're like, well, I might get only one more run off. Up to 152,000. In we go. Fun comments from the peanut gallery there. I did look. I was, I think, 3,000 on one ship off of getting Confederate. Like, I just missed Confederate by 2,000 or 3,000 on one ship because I had so much on the Nelson. Drop a fighter to get more planes again, and back in on the Kaga, because why not? And this is why you love armored flight decks, or the lack thereof at tier 8 if you are a British CV player. 12 bomb hits for 15,000. Unfortunately here, slight fuck up by me. I missed the fact the Kaga was coming, and so I did end up taking, unfortunately, Torps here, which reset the cap, but it gave me more time to damage farm, so we're not complaining too much. 27 fighters, though. We're like, do we get another runoff? We're like, no, we're not going to get another runoff, so we just sit here. So all told, because we'll end right here, we'll talk. 168,000 damage, 2 kills, high cal, and of course, we will, just in the nick of time, grab the cap. All in all, this game ended with me having a 4,700, almost 4,800 PR in the Implacable. And that's why I've really started to love this ship, is just because of the work you can do. Even in games where you're the low tier, if you play smart, you can still get a ton of damage. Anyway, guys, as a quick reminder, if you like the video, don't forget to like, leave a comment down below, and make sure to hit that subscribe button. But as always, this is Minnie, signing off.